You know, it has been a heavy news week between a whistleblower alleging a criminal scheme involving then VP Biden and a foreign national and we have the, of course, existential crisis at Fox News after the ousting of Tucker Carlson. But first, we start with this. A Michael Jackson impersonator who frequents the New York City subway, who also has a lengthy rap sheet and a history of mental illness, died after he was put in a chokehold by a U.S. Marine vet. His death was deemed a homicide by the city medical examiner, and of course, outrage by the public followed. Why? Because it perfectly fit their narrative. You know, white man killing black homeless man, the privileged hurting the less fortunate. The homeless man was Jordan Neely. He was allegedly threatening and harassing passengers on the subway, but our elected officials are treating him as a defenseless victim. Joining me now to weigh in on the madness is talk show host of 13-Minute News Hour, Bobby Eberle. You know, Bobby, it didn't take long for our public representatives to jump on this. AOC said Neely was a murderer, that he was just crying out for food. You know, Bobby, she conveniently left out the part of him berating people, being aggressive. And according to witnesses there, he said, I want food. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm ready to go back to jail. I'll hurt anybody on this train. So, Bobby, I want your reaction to AOC's comment that he was just an innocent man.
Well, there's a couple things going on. I mean, I want to first relate it to what you see from the left when they talk about, you know, someone defending themselves with a gun. You know, it's like, why did you shoot this guy 3 times? Why didn't you just shoot him once in the hand or maybe knock his gun out? You know, there's a stressful situation where you don't know how this bad guy is going to react, and you defend yourself. These folks, AOC and all these other people, they're talking like this guy is just, you know, this peaceful guy, but there's at least 4 or 5 911 calls that were going down on that subway train as this was happening. They were fearful because this guy was, as you said, he has this long rap sheet. He was threatening those people, and this guy puts him in a chokehold. So if you're grappling with a person, how do you know that it's safe to let him go? How do you know that the situation is you know, put down? You don't. And so you just don't. And he's defending these people who were threatened enough to call 911. And so to make this homeless guy out to be the next George Floyd, it's just ridiculous. I mean, there's this attitude around America now where you can't defend yourself. You have to just rely on the government. But what do we see with the government? They let all the riots happen. The police officers were told by Democrat elected officials, don't do anything. And then even as recently as Chicago, you know, with everyone just running amok in downtown, you know, running over cars, beating up people. And then the police have a press conference saying, hey, we don't tolerate that stuff. We're not going to put up with that. Meanwhile, people are beat up and their cars are damaged and stores are broken into. It's like they say rely on the government for your security, but they're not providing it. They just want chaos. And the last thing they want is for people to defend themselves. And that's why this guy, Daniel Penny, is made out to be the worst person in the world.
Well, it's almost offensive in a way for them to level this as a George Floyd incident. I mean, Bobby, you saw the clip. They're drumming this up to be a whole racial thing. Meantime, the U.S. Marine vet was assisted by another black man. I saw another person in that video also helping detain this individual. So the whole race we need to just immediately throw that out. It is not the same thing. But luckily, we do have someone, not probably the last person you think on the list, but Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, he weighed in on this. Take a look.
Well, both the congresswoman and the controller's a citywide leader. And I don't think that's very responsible at the time where we're still investigating the situation. Let's let the DA conduct his investigation with the law enforcement officials. To really interfere with that is not the right thing to do. And I'm going to be responsible and allow them to do their job and allow them to determine exactly what happened here.
Bobby, what a relief to hear. Right, I'll let you have the word, but the fact that he was able to call for a full and complete total investigation, he wasn't immediately siding alongside his New York representatives there, was a great thing to see, and I applaud him for it, among other things that I usually wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's surprising. And this is like with conservatives, that's all we want. It's just say, let's have an investigation and let's have a DA that if there's really something going on, that they will prosecute rather than letting bad guys out on the street like we see all the time. And that leads to the skyrocketing crime. But to have Eric Adams, actually be a stand-up guy and say, hey, let's tone this down, AOC and other people, and let's have an investigation. That's all you can ask for. I mean, the medical examiner, yes, is going to rule a homicide because the guy didn't go kill himself. He didn't jump in front of a train. So the next step is, well, does that lead to charges, or is this some kind of self-defense or what? So let's let that play out. And he actually had great comments there.
Yeah. What to me is a little bit outrageous is that people are saying that this was murder. And Bobby,
yes.
In a criminal court case, in a criminal trial, murder entails that there was intent behind this. And just from the clip that I saw, I didn't suspect any intent behind it. I saw someone quickly reacting and other people coming to the help. And, this could go one of which ways, but they want this to be a George Floyd situation, as you mentioned previously.
Yeah, they do. And that's why, they're instantly talking about he murdered him. I think AOC had a strong comment like that, too. This is a murderer. This is a bad guy. I'm sure he just wanted to get home, or get to work. I mean, it was the afternoon. These people were just riding the train. They weren't looking at, hey, who are we going to kill today? Hey, let's make it a racial issue. This is not on people's minds as they're going to live in their day life. I mean, and the left looks for any instance, and you see it time and time again with these various shootings or altercations or, police pulling someone over. It's like, okay, what's the race of the cop? What's the race of the victim? What can we do here? Can we play it up? Oh, that one doesn't match. So we're going to that doesn't fit our narrative. So we're going to push that one aside. It's so selective and dishonest journalism. And I'm glad you're, bringing this up and pointing this out so people can see the difference.
It just honestly grosses me out that people jump to that. Let's move on. We do have a limited amount of time. Let's go to Fox News. After Tucker Carlson was ousted, the network's primetime ratings have fallen down a cliff. MSNBC's Deadline White House with Nicole Wallace is now beating all the Fox primetime shows. Fox is reportedly feeding outlets like New York Times information about Tucker that are intended to be inflammatory while saving their hide with the cease and desist letters to Media Matters, who uploaded behind-the-scenes photos and videos of Tucker. But nonetheless, the network should be shaking in their boots right now. Bobby, the first week, Tucker gone, tanking viewership, primetime slot, down a whole 47–50%. And then you have that key advertising demo there, down 59%. That's the key demographic advertising that's going to put money back into their wallets. This is looking so bad for Fox. I don't know if they even have a chance to rebound after Tucker. Bobby.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. And it's, it's like these things go in bunches. You've got Fox News, you've got Bud Light, and you've got these executives. I mean, on the Bud Light side, you've got this woke executives that think we're going to do something, to get rid of that fratty, out of touch humor. But here you've got this next generation of Murdochs that don't like Tucker. They don't really like conservatives. They don't like Republicans. But in each case, they thought they could just do something to their product that their consumers don't want. In one case, it's viewers, and in the other, it's consumers of beer. They do something that their audience does not want, and then they expect everyone to be okay with it. And in both cases, you are seeing a dramatic pushback to the loss of billions of dollars for both corporations. And they're trying to regroup, but it's just I like the analogy, the comparison with CNN. I think the executives might have been chatting with each other, saying, "Hey, we're going to ditch Don Lemon. Yeah, we're going to ditch Tucker. I don't think anything will happen." They ditched Don Lemon and the ratings stay exactly the same, but they ditched Tucker and it craters. I mean, what are they talking about on their lunches? These liberal elites. I can't imagine.
I mean, but they would have to know. They would have to know after Tucker leaving that things were just going to get worse. Things were going to tumble. I mean, they already lost hundreds of billions of dollars from the lawsuit, and then following this up, they knew that they were just going to lose more money. It was a terrible decision. Unfortunately, this could be the end. I don't know what else to say on that. Final word. So
right, but it's like, why did they pull the trigger then? I mean, if they know this, if they if they knew they're going to get hit this hard? I mean, they say there's panic and everything like that, but how could you not see this coming if you get rid of the highest rated guy in all of cable news? It just makes no sense.
Yeah, story definitely worth following, though.
Yeah.
Interested to see where Tucker will be next. We'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bobby Eberle of 13-Minute News Hour, thanks again for joining me.
Thanks, Dana. We'll see you.
See you soon.
All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-Minute News Hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.